evening, everyone. How you doing, Chris?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Been rather warm in the polytunnels today.
Yeah, I haven't been in a while, so
Oh,
yeah.
mate, it's nuts. Just a little bit of sunlight. It never ceases to amaze me how yeah, it gets boiling hot like very, very quickly in the polytunnels. So yeah, nuts, mate. And yeah, not mentioning football either before you get
I was
started.
gonna say, do you wanna take us through the weekend results?
No, I wasn't watching, mate, so I wouldn't know.
It's not much better for Leeds United, to be honest, mate. So we
To be
can
fair,
wallow together.
yeah, I was going to say if I start getting grief from a Leeds United supporter, then yeah, the world's a very sad place. So yeah,
Yeah. So
but my other
um,
team, my other team, Luton Town, born and bred, big game tonight against Sunderland. So yeah, come on, you Hatters.
yeah, Sunderland. Yeah, I want Sunderland to do it. To be fair, decent Premier League side, Sunderland, I reckon. So
Oh,
I'm on the opposite side of the fence with that one.
I just want to see the Man City players turn up at Kenilworth Road.
It would be an experience, I have to say.
It is an experience, mate. Yeah, it's superb. Yeah, what real football is all about, mate.
Yeah, that's it. So I guess I'll just go through it all for everyone who's maybe new to the auctions. Yeah, check out our website, koi-wholesale.co.uk/dealers. You can participate in this auction by leaving a comment on Facebook or YouTube if you live in mainland UK. Look at the dealers page and you'll have the fish shipped to the dealers on that page. And yeah, just make sure to have a look through the T's and C's and the additional kind of shipping costs and make sure that you're taking that into account with your final bids. So I guess without further ado, we can kick it off with Koi A, the Ayawakaba.
Yeah, probably not a variety that jumps to mind for a lot of hobbyists, but you know, a lot of people call these Kishisui. They're actually from a breeder called Marasaka. Him and another guy called Yamanaka Oya do like their own sort of style of Ayawakaba. You get this green hue to the yellow as the fish ages, and then you got this on this particular example. You got this killer sort of Sugoke, that sort of zippy line of scales along the back of the dorsal. Mentally as well, like until I started dealing with this variety from this farm, I didn't quite realize the growing potential of them either.
Mm.
That they absolutely fly for a Deutz fish. They absolutely fly. Yeah, which is quite bizarre. I would never naturally have affiliated these with yeah, super growth, but yeah, they keep up with Wagoi examples. Yeah, quite with ease, you know. So yeah, bit of a curiosity fish as well.
Yeah, yeah. I've never seen them before I started working at Koi Wholesale. To be fair,
Mm.
obviously I'd seen Shisui and they're obviously very similar, but with different traits. But yeah, I've not seen any with that are quite slender. They're all the bodies seem quite um, robust for like a Doitsu fish.
They are.
I can't think of any that looked slender. So
Yeah,
yeah,
like I say, for a Deutz fish, they don't, you know, they're not sluggish at all.
no,
They are, yeah, pretty aggressive on the feed. I mean, you can't really get away from that sort of dorsal backbone line of scales. That's a pretty standout feature for a lot of Deutz fish, and I think that contrast in colour uh, just creates quite a visual impact, doesn't it?
yeah, yeah.
I
They're
think
not.
50 quid starting price is nuts.
Yeah, for a 40 centimeter size is not bad. So we've had a couple of bids here. One from Howie at 75 quid.
So I selected these a few years ago from another breeder that does Ayawakaba called Yamanaka Oya. He does a bit more of a more discreet version of them, if you will, not as defined as the Marasaka examples certainly don't get as big or have the body characteristics that the Marasaka versions have. And if you want one, you really don't have a lot of selection. Literally, I could think you might find them at farms, but they're certainly not produced in numbers. They're a bit of a rarity in that sense. So, although they are a Marmite variety, if you sort of like them and you're interested in them, you've not really got much. You can shop around all you want, but you're not going to find many. So yeah.
Yeah, I think if Deutsche is an area that I need to learn
Yes.
more about. I mention it almost every stream, and I find it hard to kind of appreciate Deutsche varieties in general. But when a good Shisui has what the zipper effect,
Yes.
and mainly from the start of the dorsal to the back of the dorsal, that scale
Mm.
alignment down there is just it's stunning when you see it in person more than anything.
Well, it's an appreciation aspect in itself, isn't it?
I just think you can appreciate any koi that's bred to have these certain refinements, and
Mm.
when it pulls off with a decent alignment of scales, like that's not an easy thing, to get. So yeah,
Yeah,
um,
if we analyse this fish, okay, clarity on the head could probably be remarked upon. We do like to see a nice clean head, but the other attributes, good body line for a Deutsch fish. In terms of growth potential, I don't really see it sort of being a particularly small fish. It's got a body line and the length in the fish to keep growing. That lateral pattern, which is always nice to see, and that's going to get this sort of green tone to it as it ages. And then, this dark blue Sagoke, this dorsal line of scales along the back of the fish that runs from the head to the tail. So, visually quite a striking fish. Whether it's to everyone's cup of tea, but at the end of the day, like I say, it takes all different varieties in this industry, and that's why I love it, because if you're looking for a blue, green, and yellow fish, there is one. You know what I mean? Which is just
yeah,
nuts. So
yeah,
So we've been going for a few minutes now. I see there's a few people involved. Where are we
yeah,
at the moment?
yeah.
120.
So there's 120 quid with Paul Hutchinson. There's a couple of people still in.
So I just had a message saying there was a bit of a lag. So we'll give this a few more minutes. So we're looking for bid increments of £5, 120 quid for a curiosity fish like this. If it goes for anything near that, that's pretty cock on, that, isn't it?
I think that yellow colour does that come up the gill plate in the same way it does on an Asagi, because you can see it on that on the on
It's
the
sort of reminiscent, but I would expect the Benny on an Asagi to come more rapidly. Where it's probably the one color, one type of red pigment that we don't expect to see, that we want to see as a young fish. Asagi, it cannot be present, but then come at a later age. Not so much with Iowakaba, from my experience. You might find that it refines a little bit, but you probably won't find more sort of key Maduri sort of kind of colour approaching. Maybe in the fins. Having said that, you can find out that this sort of key colour will pop up in the fins. You can just see it a little bit if you look closely. So, I think for a Deutsch fish, body line's pretty damn good as well.
Yeah, it is.
It's not got a belly on it. That's sometimes the sort of when you see a nice Deutsch fish and you just go, it's not got the length. It's got this belly on it, and I think that's where people get disheartened with Deutsch fish a little bit. But you can still find them with good bodies, good body lines. Perhaps they're not going to grow to monstrous sizes. That many of them physically don't have the genetics to sort of get to 70 plus cm, but then you've got to have the environment to do it as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of people sort of will buy Tosai. Used to buy Tosai from me, and they'd be like, "Oh, can this get to sort of 85, 90 cm?" And it's just like, well, have you ever, you know what I mean? It's one thing saying it can do it, and then it's a very different thing doing it. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah, totally. Yeah, and it all depends on conditioning, and yeah, I mean that you can see it's we've often related to say, well, this we've had a cheaper in the past that have come from 90 cm parent lines, and we always let
Yeah.
you know what where these kinds of things, but it's no guarantee. Because it all depends on how you're raising it and the conditions and other stuff. But people are interested in that kind of stuff, what parents and genetics are
Yes.
involved. Um, so we've got another one here, Janice Bean in at 200. Paul
Yeah.
Hutchinson is out. Thanks for letting us
No
know.
problem. Yeah. Janice had some nice fish recently off of us, so yeah, hopefully they're settling in well.
Yeah, so it's got a few people in Beacon, Koi, Skeggy Koi Pond. Skeggy's out, so it's Beacon, Koi. If you want to let us know if he's still in.
Yeah, let's get that video rolling one more time, mate.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, I actually think the scales look a little bit lighter on the video than they do in the picture. Down the backbone, they're not as dark. It's a nice color actually.
Yeah, I think again, it's just a visually striking fish, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's that you can't, even if you're not sort of into the variety, you can't really deny that it is a bit of an impact fish. That 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 line of scales along the back is just, yeah, pretty epic. I had a Shisui years ago that had like this big, uh, call it sort of like Aragoke style, like these big armored plated scales along the back of the fish. And when the fish sort of like hit 60, 65 cm, you'd sort of looking at scales that are sort of like this sort of size. And at
Wow.
that, it's pretty impressive at that size,
Mhm.
just even as a visual um, thing. You know what I mean? Whether it be particularly technical or on the show scene or anything like that, just visually to sort of be like, wow, that's quite impressive.
Yeah, yeah. I think I've known quite a few people that always say you should have one of every, a couple of different varieties. I think a Doitsu example is probably one of them. That having a Doitsu fish in your pond, it just breaks it up a little bit, doesn't it? It's a little bit
Yeah,
different.
no, there's no right or wrong answer, but I think where people dismiss Deutschfish is because they don't really have much understanding. The door's closed, you know what I mean, before the discussion even starts. So, which is fine, but there is a whole world out there of people that do enjoy, Deutsche varieties. So I think it's good that you know you see a lot of farms pushing. There's plenty of choice out there. That's one thing you can't deny in the koi world. So yeah.
Yeah, and you've got Dainichi doing Black Zeus and other Aragoki formats and stuff like that. There's Ginrin Aragoki I've seen as well. Like there's all kinds of weird stuff coming. So in
I think
Japan it's definitely happening.
I think it's only going to get more nuts as well. To be honest with you, mate.
Yeah,
'Cause I just think these farms they're just becoming more and more commercially savvy, a bit more westernized in their marketing approach.
yeah,
Uh, and yeah, it works. People see stuff and that they want it. Ultimately that's the job done. So yeah, but yeah, we digress a little bit, mate. Looks like Janice is out on her own. Should we play the video one last time? We'll
yeah,
look to draw this one to a close. So it's currently sat at £220. We're looking for bid increments of a tenner, so 225 to keep this one alive. Marcus back in with 230. If we're still interested, Janice, if you could let us know. Raj just saying there, is there a timer? Yeah, so we're just going to get that going now. We'll give it, what should we give it, Joe? Another
2
60
minutes,
seconds? 2 minutes?
60
2
seconds.
minutes. There
Yeah,
we go. So we've got a few people involved.
yeah.
I
I
don't
can
want to be
see.
too strict with this because there are delays and it's difficult when we're doing it live. So we'll try and be as fluid as possible, guys. but we want to be as fair as possible. So we've got a minute 45 seconds left on this. Currently with Janice at 240. So Marcus, if you're still in, please let us know. We're looking for 245 to keep this one alive, or maybe even a bit higher to secure it. So Mr. Tate, as always, a pleasure.
Evening, Alan.
Looking forward to the Secret Sankey event coming up at the end of the month, where Alan's going to be about. Yeah, lots to do, but yeah. Marcus back in with 250. So we've got just over a minute left on this one. Nice comment from Skeggy Pop Koi Pond there. So Janice, if you're involved still, please let us know. We've got about 50 seconds left before we draw a line under this one. Couldn't manage to put it all together last week. Obviously, you can imagine at the farm it's quite intense at the moment. So we should be business as usual from now on, though. Janice back in with 260, not wanting to let this one go. 30 seconds left. Hopefully you're up to date with us, Marcus. Got 30 seconds left, so just keep in mind we are going to call the price on the screen when the alarm goes off. So just keep that in mind if you want to do a last minute bid. It does put us in a tricky scenario. So 10 seconds left. Any advances? Looks like Janice is going to win this. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well done, Janice.
Yeah, perfect. Oh, Marcus, I'm out. No problem. Thank you for letting us know, Marcus. Okay. Janice, tiny little fish there.
Perfect. So moving on to fish B. Another one I think is going to be popular with the viewers.
Yeah. Well, I need to do a bit of explanation on this fish. So this was Ginrin Benigoi or Ginrin Akahajiro, however you want to dress this one up. It was in one of our top grow-on ponds. And it was, because you can see the length of the head and just all the attributes about the fish. It was like, we're keeping that to grow because it's got all the hallmarks for a fish that can ascertain a good size. From the red tiger, Denichi Benigoi line. Upon growing, we just realised that the bottom lip was slightly shorter. So that's why we've pitched it at a slightly lower price point, and that's why we're not keeping it to grow. So it's marginal. I think given the price point that it's at, it really is still an absolute steal. So comes with breeder certificate. Obviously, you can see from the body attributes, just that head size is nuts. That nice finish on the fins as well, and it's in balance in every fin as well, which is quite a cool harmonious aspect. So still a lot of fish for the money. That koi guy straight in was 60 quid. So we're looking for bid increments of £5. I mean, you've seen them at the farm. They just absolutely walk. They grow with ease. You know, I think the intensity of the Benny colour on them is probably unlike any other sort of Benigoi I've come across.
No. Very similar to the Shinoda here series, to be fair. You know, in terms of that intensity that you get in the in those.
Sorry, go on, mate.
I really like it's something on my list. I passed up on a pearl Ginrin.
Sakaguchi.
I think it was, Pearl Ginrin Benny Hajiro, and I regret not having it. So sorry, bids are flying in at the minute, up to 130 with Raz.
I thought this would be a popular one. I don't think the slight on the lip has any a huge devalue to the fish, but obviously knowing that it's there, it was just factored in. So
Yeah.
for me, it's still a valuable piece. And in fact,
Yeah.
I dare say that it probably wouldn't be noticed by a lot of people. But yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
I think you've seen the sort of value and size point that the Benny Goy at the farm can get to, and but look at that symmetry on the fins.
Yeah.
His ace.
I almost prefer Benny Hajiro to
I know.
Benny
Yeah,
Goy,
I think
just
the thing
because
is,
it's an extra element.
yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. I think the thing is, obviously, if you're, I'm sure Alan will be rolling his eyes, but from a technical perspective, naming it and classing it, but obviously for the purpose of people sort of not getting too confused with varieties, yeah, we're just gonna fall it under that sort of name. So yeah. But Ginrin, good pigment intensity. You mentioned it a minute ago. It's just nuts. I mean, did you see the Nisai female Nisai that we had? I think we
Yeah,
sold it to. Oh, I want to say Sunnybank, but forgive me if it wasn't Sunnybank.
yeah, yeah. I
It was
can't
just
remember. It was on the
insane.
last auction.
It was insane. Absolutely nuts. Oh no, sorry. This was one that we grew on, female one.
Oh right, no, I didn't see it. No.
Yeah, it was an auction fish at Danichi, and yeah, the pigment intensity was just nuts. The
Wow.
thing that I like about this fish, you see that the depth of pigment on the head, that title is just going to carry through, even on the caudal fins as well, the pectoral fins, the tail, the dorsal. It's all got this Hadjiro sort of white outline effect on the fins. It's just a nice sort of finishing point to the fish.
Yeah,
Like you say, it adds that sort of extra dimension, and that length on the head. Yeah, that is growth potential. When I see long gill plates like that, and that the back of the head where it's got quite a deep U shape, if you will, that's a sign there that the fish has got the length in the head. When it achieves a good body size, it's not going to have this disproportionate head. You know how sometimes Chagoi can get quite a big body, and then
yeah. Small
the
head.
head looks a little bit off. So you've got no worry with that. Nice body line. It just would not bloody behave when I was trying to take a picture of it.
It's got a decent distance as well from the first dorsal ray to the back of the head, hasn't it? Like the distance is quite
Mm.
significant. I
See
usually,
that backbone as well, mate.
yeah,
It's good, it's the nice thing that I like to see. Quite a bit of prominence. The mass that a fish can produce is only as good as the sort of skeletal structure that the fish has. That's why the body structure of the fish is so important, particularly moving forward. It's pivotal, especially when you're looking to get fish big. Which I don't have any hesitation to say that this fish can achieve a half decent size. So yeah, exciting fish. Years ago, if someone would have said to me that Ginrin Benigoi are going to be an extremely popular variety, I would have told them, there's the door. But that is the world of koi, isn't it? When
yeah,
people see these big, I saw at Danichi 97 cm Ginrin Benigoi.
yeah. Okay,
Blood, blood red.
yeah. Ogata when I went
Yes.
in
Yeah.
November is doing massive Benigoi over 90 cm,
Yeah.
Ginrin as well. It's just, and when you see them, they're just absolutely phenomenal. They're just floating around, and apparently in China they're absolutely huge because they're just viewed over there as like ginormous goldfish
Oh, okay.
because
Yeah.
they've won quite a few prizes at koi shows.
Yeah.
People are like, yeah, we want some of these giant goldfish, so they're just breeding them like they're going out of fashion in Ogata.
Mm.
Um, they were picking up a lot of prizes at all Japan level with them as well.
Well, just trying to find a good one as well, 'cause obviously they are quite prone to shimmy. So when you're looking at smaller fish, to achieve the examples like this, it's taken a lot of selection process to get to this sort of caliber. So even though they're a single coloured fish, far more than meets the eye. You know what I mean? So looks like we've stable,
down a bit.
plateaued out a little bit on these. So I'll give this a couple of minutes. Looks like Ant Allen's out on his own at the moment.
Nice fish. Just
Mm.
I love the detail on the pecs. To be fair.
Yeah, so you see on the anal and the ventral and the caudal fin as well. That
Yeah.
detail.
It'd be quite a nice effect on the tail through a window as well if it goes to a window pond, having that the little bit of white on the end of the tail would be nice.
Yeah. Comment there, 37 cm at this eye. Do you genuinely think this is going to get big? I think people get quite caught up on these are fish that have not been on food for ages, so they rush up to this size, and it's just through the selection process that we don't push them any further. So yeah, it's got the body attributes. I've got no hesitation in saying you put the foot on the gas again with this fish, and yeah, it's going to get to a decent size. So yeah, 37 cm for a Nisai is not exactly a small fish. It's only when we're looking at the big Nisai in Japan that are maxing at sort of 60, 65 cm, which are just ridiculous. So yeah.
I took that Tanaka Nisai Ginrin Asagi from the farm, and that was about 27 centimeters. And it's
Something like that. Sorry, Joe,
yeah.
just to interrupt. 30 seconds left, guys. So we're currently at 220.
It's a nice fish for 220 quid.
Yeah, I think so. Comes with blank Denichi certificate as
Yeah.
well, which is always a nice touch. So 15 seconds left. Please don't leave it right till the last minute. We are going to call what is on the screen. So currently with Ian Jacks, 5 seconds left. Currently at 2:30.
Sniper.
Oh, there we go. 2:30. Yeah.
Well done, Ian.
Yeah, that was timed that pretty well there, buddy. So yeah.
It's not a name I've seen before. If you've not already had a fish from us, Ian, if you could email Chris at koi-wholesale.co.uk with your name, number, preferred koi dealer, and the reference number 17B.
Yeah,
Well done.
I think you'll be happy with that, Ian. So yeah, nice piece. What we got up next, mate?
Hoshikin Kahaku. Yeah, lovely fish that.
I've got a bit of a soft spot for Hoshikin in general. I think if you've ever been to I say it all the time because it's a real eye opener. It is literally opposite the Denichi Nagata operation. So you can literally walk out of one farm, look across the road, not a particularly big road, and that's Denichi across the road, a famous auction house to the right of the farm. And it's sort of like in the koi world, Hoshikin just sits in the shadow of Denichi. But the reality is he produces very high quality fish. One of the things that he's super famous for is his Benny quality. So you get this sort of luminous style Benny. But when you go into his fish house, honestly, it is insane. He is a top breeder and probably a breeder that deserves more credit in the UK than he gets. Also, I think his fish are quite attainable as well in comparison to, say, like a Denichi or a Sakai or a Momotaro, for example. I think you could pick up quite a lot of fish for the money. I mean, this is Nisai 54 cm. Nuts.
Yeah, that's no slouch, is it? At Nisai.
No, it's crazy. It's got
nice fish.
All the attributes that we're looking for in nice Kahaku. Good shiroji, good body line. Yeah, Benny plate is very good. You see, yeah, that video probably displays it best. That skin luster is insane.
Yeah, there's tiny bits of Ginrin as well in there, which is like a sign of, I guess, good luster in the skin. But
yeah, I tend to find with those sort of scales that with time, if it's not a Ginrin fish, they sort of absorb into the skin with age. But yeah, it's just super fish, 200 quid. It's, yeah, fish this size is yeah, no brainer for me. So yeah.
Now, there's been fish on the farm before where we've bowled it, and I've asked you what breeder it is, kind of thinking probably going to be, one of the bigger names. And I am always shocked when it's Hoshikin because the
Yeah,
body
yeah,
shape as well is usually, quite strong. So yeah, I've been shocked sometimes by the quality of Hoshkin Haku, but it's not a name that I'd heard very much other than in
yeah,
these auctions. So
yeah. He's not a small operation either.
no,
No, it's just yeah, in probably in Kahaku. He also does Showa. He's also started doing his own version of sort of Ginring Karashigoi as well recently. Um,
they're all in on it now.
yeah, yeah, that's it, mate. Yeah. So yeah, it just really like the farm, like the ethos of the breeder as well. Uh,
Yeah,
he's got very strong characteristics with his fish as well. You know, once you start getting to know his fish, that Benny style that he produces is fantastic. You just see
yeah,
that sort of glowing, almost like luminescent sort of quality to the skin.
yeah. The Benny quality is superb on that.
Yeah, got a lot of time for this breeder and this fish as well. It has to be said. So not too much activity. I thought this one might
Mm.
have a few people looking for this one. So we're still sat at 200 quid at the moment. So we're only looking at bid increments of a fiver. So if anyone wants to keep this one alive, then please let it be known.
Yeah,
Looks
there's
like
multiple people joining us. I think at the start of the stream we only had about 100, but now we're at nearly 200 viewers. So here we go. Howie Coy in at 210.
so. We're looking for 215 to keep this one alive. Or a few
Yeah,
more.
54 centimeters, 200 quid start price for a Haku with decent quality is yeah, not to be sniffed at.
No, so I've been had a bit of a boring moment this afternoon where I had to sort of run some figures on the spreadsheets and consolidate shipping fees and that sort of thing. And I can assure you, you are not landing poor quality Nisai of this size anywhere near this price at the moment.
No.
I can guarantee you that. So we are what we can achieve at the farm is hopefully moving forward is being able to beat these freight costs, which are significant on bigger fish. Smaller fish, it can be absorbed. You know, for example, we had a big box a few weeks ago, had 150 fish in it. So at that point, that freight cost is divided by 150 fish. But if you're looking at fish this size, you're dependent on quality as well. You're not shipping many, so that landed figure, once you add your handling fees, the trucking fees, any commissions involved, any clearance duty on the boxes, yeah, it starts to add up. That figure that the end user pays, yeah, it can get a bit eye watering. So yeah,
Yeah,
um,
I think for me, I think the Sansai and above is just that unattainable now with the freight charges. What it is, I think that's been a one-time experiment for me because obviously you pay the Japanese price and the commission and
yeah.
everything else, and then you get the bill for the freight, and it's nearly
Well,
as much.
I think they're all, you know, because that's all dead money in a sense.
Yeah,
You know, it's very, you know, even if an agent decided to make a small amount, you know, we're talking minute percentages on shipping fees. The bulk of it is just the sheer cost at the moment. You know, there's no getting away from it. And if you're shipping not a lot of fish, then that needs to be divided by that amount of fish in the box. So yeah, big in this size, Sansai. I know we've been quoted for a couple of people that are looking for big fish. And yeah, the shipping is significant at the moment, mate. It really is.
yeah. So we've got a few people in now. Howie Coy at 280, Matthew and Marcus Upton still in. think, and we've had a bid from Dave Gardner as well. So a few people with bids in for this one.
I
Yeah,
mean, I don't know what the condition of the fish. I'm guessing maybe the purists will moan about that spot of Benny behind the first Dan, but the Benny condition is, walk into a show with that type of Benny quality.
yeah.
It's nuts. It really is, and that is what the farm really excels in. But make no mistake, they're not small fish. You know what
No,
I mean? They're just that they're not sort of like just pattern fish.
it's a
Those
minor demerit, isn't it? If you know, the thing with stacking up, if it didn't have that, it wouldn't be probably at 280 quid either, or it wouldn't have a starting bid of 200 quid. It's all relevant, as you like your
all
quote to
relative,
quote
yeah, yeah.
Chris.
That's it, mate, yeah.
It's all relevant.
Relative. That's what. Yeah,
Relative, that's it. It's all
yeah,
relevant.
yeah. So all relative to the price. That's the thing. So
There's a
yeah,
few breeders I'd like to try in Kahaku. Nogami as well is another that I'd
legend.
like to try.
Yeah,
Hoshikin is one of them.
Nogami is a super breeder. We're really blessed with Kahaku breeders, to be honest with you, mate.
Mm.
We really are.
Momotaro
Yeah, I
as
could
well.
literally list a dozen top Kahaku breeders, all with their own sort of trait on their slant on Kahaku production.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I learned a harsh lesson once at Danichi versus Nagami. Yeah, probably said it a few times, but yeah, I got my pants pulled down at Danichi because I was trying to chase the Danichi Dream, and yeah, then went over to Nagami, who had just done jumbo tosai selection. The fish were about 3 times less and about 5 times the quality.
Yeah.
But you live and learn.
Yeah, exactly. Go on then, see 7 stars last top Kahaku breeders. Can you just quickly name what would be your
Uh,
top one, Chris?
Danichi's got to be up there.
Yeah.
Sakai also got to be up there. Yeah, I mean, Jesus, those two are, yeah, not out on their own because there's some super breeders, but yeah, Nagami I really like as well. A lesser known breeder called Kansuke, old school breeder. Doesn't get fish particularly big, but very beautiful fish. Quite an accredited breeder in Japan. A farm that sort of a lot of farms have learned from and got genetic characteristics from. L&D got super Kahaku line. Literally, the list goes on and on. Marido, you know what I mean? Literally, I could probably pluck names out, but yeah, probably Danichi and Sakai are yeah.
Yeah. The
Just
dream.
they've just got the full package. Hoshikin as well. Like again, if you're not looking to get crazy carried away, this is the good thing with a lot of the Kahaku breeders. There's levels, you know what I mean, and you know a lot of people say you get some big breeder tax, whereas with other breeders you don't, but you still get the quality of the fish. Ultimately, you are paying for genetics. We've just done Sakai and Danichi selections over the last 2 days, and it's nuts. It's absolutely insane. That Rick's put a couple of videos on Facebook, and yeah, not really even gone into second gear yet with the growing, and they're built like fucking brick shit houses, and yeah, they're a matter of months old. You know what I mean? It's nuts. So
Yeah. Crazy.
yeah, diverse a little. What's the word I'm looking for? Digress. So yeah,
Yeah, it's been a
um,
few minutes since the last bid, so
I'm
still
gonna
with
stick
Howie at
2
280.
minutes on this, Joe.
Yeah.
So
Matthew Savage out at 255. Thanks, Matt, for letting us know.
2 minutes left on this. Let's get that video rolling. Good 7 stars. Good topic for a conversation, actually.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I
Put
guess
that,
it's like
put that in
if
the bank.
somebody, the question I guess that I would ask of you, Chris, is if you had £1,000, what breeder would you be going to then? That's probably a even
Yeah.
more difficult topic, isn't it?
See, then I don't like those type of questions because I would judge it on the fish.
Yeah, but that's probably buying you not even a jumbo toe size sometimes at
Yeah,
Sakai or
I
Dainichi,
would
isn't
have
it?
to. I would have to analyze the fish and then go from there.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
going to sound like a politician, but Hoshikin would be a breeder that would spring to mind if you wanted to get a decent fish for that sort of budget.
yeah, yeah,
Other farms, it might not stretch as far
yeah.
um, if you're sort of hand selecting, but Hoshikin would be a breeder that I would definitely.
Do you know, it'd be a really good experiment for Ricky to go to Japan and say, right, this is what I can get for 500 quid here, and this is what I can get 500 quid here, and grow them all and see which is actually turns out to be best value.
It's timing as well because you can get more for
Yeah,
your minute. So there's a lot of variables to it. So we've got 25 seconds left, guys. We're currently at 290 with this fish, which is an absolute steal at that price, in my opinion. 20 seconds left. We are going to have to call the price on the screen when the timer goes off. So please don't leave your bids right till the last minute. So we're currently sat at 290 with Marcus Upton. 5 seconds left. Looks like Marcus is going to win this one.
well done, Marcus.
Gold. Yeah, great fish.
Yeah.
Super fish. Really like that one. Fair play.
I like this one. I think this one is just it just needs a bit of cut out of conditioning and time and a pond where it can thrive in. And yeah, but I absolutely love the makeup of this fish.
Great example of less is more, isn't it? Sometimes.
Yeah, I just like obviously I think the body has some growing and width to put on with it, but in terms of the other things, I'm looking at like the size of the mouth is, humongous. It's got a decent head and a nice thick peduncle as well. I just think this needs a pond where maybe a less competitive pond than maybe what it's been in. Maybe not a big feeder in a competitive pond. Maybe that's why it's not got the body that it could do. But look, the other Okawa examples we've had have shown real potential to put on body. So I just think
Yeah,
this is a little gem that someone could steal
yeah.
here.
It's been off the food for a little while. Not literally off the food, but like it's not been
Not,
growing.
yeah, yeah,
But that's where the Shiroji needed some conditioning. You know, when you're pushing Shiros at a high temperature, you can lose that intensity to the white skin, which, for us, it's not so much of a problem because we know it's a conditioning thing. But when it has sellable value, people are perhaps a bit distrusting of the fact that sort of saying, oh, it will go white. So better to condition the fish and then sort of sell the fish, if you will. Motoguru and the fins, it's not the be all and end all, but I like to see that's just a nice harmonious, tight Motoguru in the fins, just a nice touch. And you're going to get this mapped sort of sumi pattern on the face as well. Sumi intensity is no real issue. We've seen with the Akawa fish that it's just a case of sit back and wait. So all in all, for me, it's a fish that perhaps some people won't get, but then when they see the fish when it's sort of a much larger size with a bigger body on it, and that sumi sort of come through, and the intensity of it all it sort of come together. So very rarely do the obvious Shiros, when they're smaller, make the best ones.
no, I just think this is a real opportunity to pick up a real high quality Shiro at a price on the basis of what it is now, but with the potential of what it could be.
Yeah,
I'm trying
skin
to
as well.
figure I'm trying to figure out on the picture if there's. It looks like there's a tiny hue on that right hand side of Sumi, but it's difficult to see. I can see it on the picture, but not the video as much.
On the sumi.
On the left-hand side of the fish, sorry.
Oh, as
Right.
if is it getting some more sumi?
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's shadowing. It's I think what you'll see is relatively stable at this point. It just needs to consolidate, to be honest with you. So yeah, I think you see in the video, skin quality is displayed particularly well. Oh, what have I done
Yeah.
there? This is why I'm not allowed to click buttons, Joe.
Yeah.
I had a message from a customer who said, you know, what about the head colour? Again, with quite a bit of experience with Shiro Tsuri, whenever you've got Shiros that are still developing Sumi, it's quite common for the Shiroji to be taken away. So you see the Sumi's just sat underneath the skin on the head. Probably on the picture is displayed much better. So you see right on the lip of the fish. I think that's the
Yeah.
true colour that the head will go. It's just again this transitioning point for the fish where the sumi is building in the head. Once the sumi stops forming, then that will give way for the shiroji to start sort of strengthening, and that's when you get better transition through the fish from the head to the body. But this is just Shiro Tsuri development in a nutshell. So yeah, not too much interest in this one, buddy. 120 quid at the moment. So yeah, I think that's yeah. You ain't picking a Kawa Shiro Tsuri up for anywhere near that price from the farm. So yeah, it must be a lot of Luton Town supporters tonight, mate. They're all watching the game.
Possibly so. Yeah, or Sunderland. More likely.
Hey,
Oh.
we've got a big following, mate. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah, there's been a few Okawa Shiros that I've kind of fallen for. Do you remember that one that we had with the letter C on it said that
Oh yeah.
that you sold? So there's been quite a few that I've they've got like a really ink black sumi on the head that's kind of a
Mm.
standout feature on them. I don't know why, but it seems to take less time than some of the other breeders that they get the head pattern a little bit earlier on a cow. I don't know. I've just
Well, the
noticed
thing
it with a
is,
few.
you know, obviously people automatically think of Shiro Tsuri. They jump to Omasako. You know, rightly so. He pretty much sponsors every fucking all Japan show, all the big shows. Although, having said that, there are a few breeders that are starting to nudge away at the smaller sizes now. But for me, Shiros, you know, you need to look at clean fish. You know, they don't have many Showa traits in the Kawa Shiro Tsuri. So you do get quite a clean, you know, you get a white and black koi. So secondary Benny popping up is not so common. They're quite an easy to read fish as well. So yeah, the selection process can be a little bit tricky because they do have a bit of a trait to them with some of the body characteristics. So you know you've got to see past that. But certainly, if you know what you're looking for, you end up with quite a lot of fish for the money. To be honest with you.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I've been impressed with them,
yeah.
and you can see all that content on Koi Wholesale YouTube page to see the grow out project that Ricky's been doing. Definitely worth following and understanding the Okawa Shiro a little bit better and how Ricky selected them.
Yeah. Yeah. Fish that perhaps not floats everyone's boat, but again, it's difficult one, isn't it? Because I never look at fish as how they look today. I'm just looking at this fish in sort of 3 years' time. I've got an image in my head, and it's quite pleasing. So it's difficult to sort of get that vision sometimes, but yeah, for
Yeah,
me, really, really tidy fish, very clean, and I think it'll be a nice, clean example. I think a lot of people, when they're looking at Shiros, they're looking for that textbook checkered, you know, Ichimatsu sort of style pattern. But that's why I actually prefer stripped back Shiros, almost like someone described it to me once as like a Kindai Shiro, as if like there's more white ground and the Sumi is less prominent. But yeah, it's each to their own, mate. So
Yeah.
I'll give this a couple of minutes left. Not got too much activity. Oh, I've got a few people involved, but not too much activity. So we're currently
No.
sat at 135 with Ian Jacks. We've got a minute and 40 seconds left. So if anyone is still involved, then let us know. As I say quite a bit, we will call when the alarm goes off. We will call whatever price is on the screen. So yeah.
Genji, another one that appears to be doing quite a lot in Shiro. One to keep an eye on.
Yeah, Kaneko, NND as well with their DK line.
Yeah.
Proving to that is starting to nudge into the show scene quite a lot actually, over in Japan as well. But it's just on those bigger sizes of Shiros. It's just Omasako pretty much dominates for that reason, because his fish have the potential to get massive.
Yeah.
His development in Suri size has been a bit of a game changer. But then obviously the way Japan works is those genetics eventually start filtering down into other lineages, and then that's where the standard just keeps getting better and better and better.
Yeah, and they've all got personal quirks of them. It's like the
Yeah,
Kahaku breeders that we were speaking to about earlier. But they're probably 90% of them will all be using Sakai or Danichi, brood stock.
yeah.
But they've all got
They're
personal.
using a lot of Omasako, so
Yeah, exactly. But they
yeah.
all have personal
Sorry,
quirks.
Joe. 10 seconds left, so it looks like Ian's out on his own at the moment. So yeah, 5 seconds left. If anyone wants to make a bid, then please let us know.
Yeah, great card for the money.
Yeah.
Been a few people
So,
trying to snipe last minute, but
yeah, no,
it's
that's fair enough. But yeah, we like we say, when the alarm goes off, we'll call what's on the screen. So yeah, Ian Jacks. Yeah, I think you'll end
well
up with
done.
a good fish there, buddy. So yeah, well done.
No, I think this one's going to be
Oh, yeah.
interesting for a few. Yeah, this one's been swimming around in one of Ricky's top Nisai ponds recently, hasn't it?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, it's yeah, what a Lasagi.
Yeah, it's
From
got sorry, you go.
no, go on, mate.
I was going to say it's got that almost metallic. It's almost like that Otsuka style scalation. I wouldn't necessarily have pinned this on being a Oya Asagi, to be fair. It's
Probably a bit
almost
more
Otsuka like.
traditional in the sense that it's got real clear Asagi characteristics. Whereas obviously a lot of the Oya fish, much like, funnily enough, Omasako Shiros, the Shiros that he wants to keep are the white ones with not a lot of sumi on. The Oya Asagi that we want to keep are the light ones that go under the radar with a good
Yeah,
body, because the Benny will come. This is a little bit different in the sense that the Benny is formed at quite a young age, so it's got You've also got it forming in the dorsal fin as well, and in the pec fins, in the tail, on the face, on both cheeks, the lateral line. So what you're probably going to end up with is a very textbook. You've got Benny on all points that you want to see on a Sagi, which is from a technical point of view, that's one attribute. But you need this Asagi style skin as well. Nice light tone to it. Nice clean head as well, and chucky and female on top of it as well. Yeah, it's yeah. What what
yeah,
what
lovely.
more? What more could you ask for? So we'll get the video rolling.
Yeah, one of the big things for me on Asagi is having Benny in the tail, because I feel like it breaks it up. You know, if you've got Benny on the head and there's none on the tail, it looks almost a little bit mismatched. But yeah, it's got a lovely Benny vibrancy in the tail, and in the
Symmetry of
text as well.
that Benny on the cheeks as well is pretty nuts.
Yeah, it's mad that almost looks like, you know, the symmetry in the gill plates is not easy to achieve on a Sagi either. I've seen you know, many of them where one's slightly up on the other, but obviously that'd be a massive, you know,
I can assure everyone that's not been manipulated either, because this was grown from a very small Tosai. That is just
yeah,
a freak how it's formed like that. So
yeah,
yeah, it's I
really
think
cool.
yeah, I think with a lot of Asagi, people sort of rush to find the finished ones, but you need that light tone on the skin. You know, it's a must, because this is a variety that does carry quite a lot of melanin in the skin, and this is sort of prone to shimmy. So that's where we need this light characteristic in the skin, and then a white head, which is quite a contrast to when you think about it.
Yeah, it's so many different colours all going on, and it's the reason why it's my favourite variety because
Is it?
got yeah, Asagi's by
Oh,
far and away. You didn't know? You've been.
you probably told me, mate, but yeah,
No, it's yeah, it's my favourite variety because it's the one that people up in the north of England, they're just misunderstood, I think. But also they've got this common conception that they just don't do well in northern water.
oh right,
Um, yeah, so people just class them as shimmy guy, and they just won't touch them with a barge pole. But yeah, I've had a Sagi that have done that and shimmied up, and yeah, but there's some that still got that are doing quite well, but they're really difficult when you break it down. You've got all these different elements, scale alignment, getting the body shape on them right, pectoral fins, like getting just clean pectoral fins on an Asagi is a challenge in itself because they're just so wild at Tosai, that if they get through, you know, to Nisai and above without having damaged a pec is just an achievement in itself. So
they
there's
are, you know, one of the original founding fish for Nishikigoi.
yeah,
You know, they go back as far as any other variety in that sense, and they do. I don't know what it is about them. Oh, Tony, how are we doing, buddy? Yeah. Oh, I remember the fish well. Yeah, yeah, tidy little fish that was. Yeah, and they've just got a bit of a character. Asagi, in terms of having a fish that can achieve a decent size, is not too challenging. I think a lot of Asagi have sort of genetics in them that's, you know, whether they've got the body structure and they will get the body mass, but you know, you can get length in Asagi quite easily. It's just a trait for most Asagi lineages. But yeah, to get the full package where they pack the body, they've got all the Benny sat in the right places, the right proportion. Yeah, they're a technical fish, but the trouble is, a lot of people want the finished ones now, and that's, you know, this dark coloration on the back of the fish is not so in keeping with longevity. So
yeah.
selection process is quite important as well.
I've been really impressed with the Oya ones at
Mm.
Koi Wholesale. To be fair, Otsuka's one that I'd like to have in my pond next.
Yeah,
Try
so
Otsuka,
again, another very good Asagi breeder, mate.
but a lovely fish that.
Mm.
Just the shiroji on the skin on the in between the scales and on the head is probably the standout feature. It does
Uh,
look like
sorry, go on.
Benny. It does look like Benny is developing in the dorsal
It
slightly.
is. It is. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think again, like I touched on earlier, the fact that, you know, Asagi are one of those varieties that can break that rule. You know, we
Mm,
all expect Sumi to develop in Sankey, Shiro, Showa, etc. You don't really expect Benny to start forming at later ages in varieties, but this is a characteristic from Oya, the farm, which is why you see so many at the farm that have got great body characteristics, great scale articulation, all the details of the one with the cadogin, and and people look at them and go, is that for sale? Nope. Because we know how much they cost to buy the finished article.
Yeah.
You try and buy Oya or Suka Sanzai. Yeah, you're digging deep in your pocket. So the ones that we really put our back into and give it the best pond space and give it 18 months space and time to grow. Yeah, they're not. Asagi are very variable in terms of how they develop. So the good ones, need to be kept under lock and key.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Yeah, they're
cleanliness of the head is another one as well.
Yeah, I've got a couple of examples that have developed like a grey hue on the head, and I don't know what that is. I guess it's just underlying sumi, isn't it? But
it's that again where they've got melanin in the skin. So this is responsible for the darker pigments in the skin, and they just seem to those receptors in the skin seem to change as they age. Whether it's environment orientated, whether it's diet orientated, whether it's a combination of both. But yeah, that's a reality of it. Nice clean head. When you see the big examples in Japan, to have a super clean head is something to that in itself is like a nice appreciation factor for me. So yeah, I'm gonna stick a couple of minutes on this one, Joe.
Yep.
Where are we at?
450. I'm still asking Ricky about my staff discount on that Kage Shiro. He's not got back to me yet. So
yeah, I think you might be waiting a while for that, mate. Although I've got 3,000 Otsuka Tosai coming in tomorrow night, so there might be a few small ones in there for you, mate.
Yeah, I'm impatient. I want that one.
Yeah.
I'm grinding him down. I'm grinding him. So I'll just keep mentioning it until he gets fed up of it.
Yeah, he won't. So we've got a minute left, guys, on this one. I know there's been a few people involved in this one, so we've got a minute left. So yeah, please don't leave your bids right till the last minute. We will call what's on the screen. Graham's had a nice fish off of us as well, Graham. Nice bid there of 480.
Yeah, it's been a popular variety, this. I think I'm doing a good job selling Asagi to the public, but no, I think it's a popular variety, to be fair. This probably was,
isn't it?
Yeah. Have you ever seen a Tancho Asagi?
I have, yeah, last year. What it looks like now, I don't know. I'm slightly dubious about it. 15 seconds left, guys. 10 seconds. Currently with Graham at 480. 5 seconds.
Oh, Phil Norton.
Phil, 490.
Well done, Phil.
Yeah, what a fish.
Yeah.
Happy days. Yeah, few people. I know it's difficult. I see a few bids coming in after the alarm had gone off there, but we've got to draw a line under it somewhere. And I know there was a bit of a lag sometimes with these live feeds. So yeah, super fish, Phil. Fair play.
Well done.
Last there. So yeah, great fish. What we got here?
I've got a feeling this is going to be popular as well. When I saw this one, I was kind of that Is it key? Would you class it as key color? I don't know what you'd class it as.
Kin, yeah, it's a
Kin.
golden color. So I mean, people, it's almost like Deutz, Kagane, Achiba with the colouring. The farm, the breeder, just calls these sort of Aragoke. So I know, like, the purists will want to stick this in a category. For me, I don't. Yeah, I don't really care about that sort of side so much. So yeah, let's just look at the traits of the fish. Again, another Deutz variety that sort of grows with relative ease. Nice body line on it, and obviously Aragoke, sort of, to give everyone a bit of a rough translation, is armored, yeah, armor. So this is where the big sort of almost mirror carp like scales come into play. Again, sort of years ago, a variety that was not particularly sought after. Would I even say were um, fish that were discarded? But this is just how things go. This is the cycle of anything, whether it be sort of fashion, cars, koi, anything like
Yeah.
that. And now there is a market for very much the weird and wonderful, um, particularly with the windows now as well. People are just, it's added another dimension um, to the viewing of fish. You know, these big lateral scales that wrap around the side of the body, and the ability to sort of grow to a half decent size for a Deutz fish. So yeah, it's yeah, Marmite, that's for sure. But yeah, we found them to be particularly popular with our dealers. So yeah, starting point, 200 quid. I think that's pretty damn reasonable for a fish of this
Mm.
sort of caliber. So if anyone is involved, sort of see that metallic luster on the fish as well. We found a lot of anglers like these fish as well, Joe. So
Right.
a
Okay.
lot of carp anglers are sort of like looking at it a little bit reminiscent of sort of like a mirror carp, uh, but with colour. Which I guess if you were to sort of yeah, break it down and be a bit cynical, I guess that's, yeah, what people think of them. So yeah.
I kind of like this one though because of that yellow bleeding into that dorsal scalation. It's really a cool effect that it's got. Like it looks like it's almost been dripped in on that dorsal line.
Mm.
It's a really cool effect, and there's no scales that are like half, you know, that silver color, half gold. It's like, you know, it's a really cool effect that, and with the golden head, nice face as well, like long head on it. Pecs in proportion with the almost like the most guru with the gold. It's just a cool fish all around. Really, it's something I would not, you know, it's
It's a
something I would.
curiosity, isn't it?
Yeah, it's something that just breaks up the pond. Similar to that kind of ayahuasca bar. It's a different color to anything like Gosanke, Asagi. You know, the common varieties. Obviously, Yamabuki is another one that's yellow, but yeah, it just breaks up a pond well. Yeah, I've been quite impressed by the Aragoki. Um, you know, as Doitsu varieties go, my kind of favourites would be Shisui, Ayawakaba, and then Aragoki. The other kind of um, Deutz, Kahaku, and Sankis and that kind of stuff is something that I'm not as keen on.
Mm.
I quite like the weird and wonderfuls.
Yeah,
Definitely fall into that category.
I think yeah, they're not for you purists. You know, they're
No,
probably, you know, I think you just need to accept that. But in terms of having an addition that's a little bit different, I know it's a little bit cliche, but when the sun catches this type of iridescent skin tone, yeah, adds another dimension to it. So I've had a few messages to say that we have got a lag on YouTube. I'm not sure if that explains. Um,
yeah, I think the Facebook comments are coming in quicker to us. So you know, in real time, you might be bidding on YouTube with time left to go on the clock, but them comments
mm,
are coming to us a little bit later. So it's, you know, if you if you want to bid on Facebook, that'll be a little bit quicker for you, or just try and get your bids in, ahead of time. It's the risk you'll take if you bid in with 10 seconds to go, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. So no takers at the moment, mate. I mean, I don't think it's going to be the end of the world because this will just be going in the grow on pond to stack some size on. So we're looking for 200 quid to get us up and going, guys. Don't be shy if you're involved.
Oh, got some Janice in at 200.
Any advances on 200? So it does. I think the thing is that with the lag, it's the server as well, isn't it? In different
Yeah,
areas. So what might be up to date on one stream is not on another.
yeah,
Um, we have got some pretty exciting news in the pipeline moving forward in the way of an app and an integrated website where things can be done a lot more smoothly. But we're working with the tools that we've got at the moment. So yeah, just bear with us, guys. I know it can be a bit frustrating, but yeah, we'll do our best. Yeah, that was the other thing. Crafty's just put that on there, which probably doesn't help because if people are lagging, I'm gonna have to time travel to let people know. Refresh, but yeah, yeah, that is always a good shout as well, mate. So yeah.
yeah.
So currently with Janice at 200 quid. There's a video, mate. There we go.
Yeah, it's a fish that I'd be quite happy if it was swimming around in my pond.
Do you know,
It's a nice example, really, of the ones that I've seen.
yeah, do you know what? The two-tone ones have been the most popular as well.
Yeah, in my head they are as well. I'm not as keen on the black ones. The black Aragokis. I quite like the gold ones. Or if
Mm.
it's got a gold head and a black body, I've seen them ones and they look quite cool. But yeah, I
So
quite like.
I did hear a rumor that the farm is not producing them again.
Right. Okay.
Or certainly, sticking a pin in it for this season. So it does make them even more. What's the word?
Sought after.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, looks like we've not got as much love for this one as we thought, buddy. I'll
Oh,
stick a couple of minutes on this one.
the risk we take with the auctions, isn't it? And
It is, mate.
sometimes
It is.
I'm always shocked at Koi Wholesale. Some of the stuff that I really, really love are usually the ones that are the least popular. Maybe I have a bad eye for Koi.
Well,
Um,
last night I was doing a dealer. You probably saw it, or I don't know whether you turned your notifications off because it was a bit wild last night. But so we have a broadcast list for our dealers where we sell quite a lot of fish on. Yeah, they're and I was, everything sold, 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 sold. Yeah, happy days, happy days. And I put the kiss of death on one fish, and I said, "This is my one to watch." Nothing. I was like, "Wow."
oh dear.
So we've got about a minute left, guys. Looks like Janice is going to walk away with an absolute weapon here. So yeah,
Uh,
fair play. It's yeah, 50 seconds left. So please. Oh yeah, no, sorry, yeah. Yeah, Matt ended up snapping it up, but it was a few minutes after I put it on there. To be fair, so I was sat there thinking, "Oh wow." So 35 seconds left here. If I was a betting man, I would say some of the dealers are going to get involved, lump on for this fish at the last minute. So please don't leave it too late. Keep in mind that we have got a bit of a lag involved. So we've got 20 seconds left, guys.
yeah, here we go. 210
Gary in
Gary.
10. 15 seconds left. 220.
Marcus 220.
10 seconds left. Marcus is on his
Honestly.
own. 5 seconds left.
Janice 230. Just before it clocked.
Yeah, fair play. Yeah, I'll see that come up as well just before. So yeah, Janice, another lovely fish to the collection. Fair play. I think that's an absolute bargain. That is.
Yeah, I yeah. You're not going to see one retailing at 230. 43 centimeters IR ago. Okay, yeah, that's a real good buy. That and the Shiro have been fantastic buys so far. So moving on to fish 17H, another Hoshkin Kahaku Sansai.
It's not. It's Nisai.
Oh,
That is, yeah, that is a typo on my behalf. Yeah, yeah,
fair enough.
same batch as the previous Hoshkin Kahaku. So again, you see like the oh,
Wow,
yeah, that's nuts.
wow,
That
that is a
Benny quality is just savage, isn't it? A little bit overexposed, but even still, you don't. Yeah, you don't have to look too. You don't have to exaggerate the skin quality on a fish like this.
that is yeah, it's textbook, that isn't it? Sashiki were nice big head. Dave Gardner in it, 300.
Just yeah, type of uh, type of fish that is pleasing to the eye, mate, isn't it?
Yeah,
And
yeah, that's
the skin and belly qualities are just yeah. I probably sort of went over the top when I was sort of bigging up Hoshikin earlier, but you know, you stick this sort of skin quality uh, and Benny quality with a different breeder tag, and yeah, you start getting into sort of la prices. So yeah,
I've just realised I've missed out Koi G, so we'll go back to that after this. So we've gone A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We've missed G. We've gone to H. So there's one.
oh Joe, don't start confusing me now, mate. Jesus.
So we're at 350 with Michael Thompson.
Yeah, skin wise, I mean, when you see it in the flesh as well, it's yeah, again, it's just quite a finished fish, isn't it? You know, all
Yeah,
we really need here is just that body mass to bulk up a little bit.
yeah. Sorry, I'm
But
just uploading Koi G.
it's what the farm is famous for, mate.
Yeah,
Benny quality. And that nice step, sort of 3-step. How many people, you know, if I were to ask people around the country, what's your favourite style of kahaku? It's always sandan or yondan, like 3-4-step kahaku. It's just the textbook response, you know. It's I know people like to see it as well. It's what the breeders like to produce, you know. The more steps, the better, so to speak. But they've got to be well formed. And I must admit, I always like seeing an impressive first dan on kahaku as well,
mhm,
having this length and also the consistency of the pigment. See how it sort of transitions from the head to the body.
yeah.
It is almost seamless, you know, which is a testament to the Benny quality on this fish.
Mhm.
Nice intricacy around the face as well. I think it's always a nice touch to have a little bit of quirkiness, which has got that shape on that the front edge of that dan. Kiwa, very good. Sashi, it's formed now. You know what I mean? This is there's not much refinement to be done there. So yeah, what's not to like? It's just one of
Yeah,
those fish, isn't it? It's just very pleasing on the eye.
yeah. There's not a lot we can even talk about. You know, it's difficult for us to, you know, wax even more lyrical about it because, you know, at Nisai at 50 odd centimeters, Shiroji quality, you know, decent head size and length and shape, Benny quality, Kiwa Sashi. That yeah, it's just yeah, what's not to like really.
Mm.
Um, yeah, if you're looking for a Kahaku like this, it's yeah, fantastic value.
So this was kept in one of the top ponds at the farm for the last year. So this was grown on from Tosai. So quite an established fish in British water. I think that's always a nice touch as
Mm.
well, to know that that sort of skin quality and benny quality is formed. You know, sometimes when you ship fish early on from Japan, they don't, you know, that they can retreat quite quickly. But when you got, that's another nice feature about what we got at the farm, is that the fish are all established in our water. You know, they're all grown, developed in our water. So that's why we have quite a high degree of confidence when we sell the koi. You know, so this skin is not too akin to what you'd see on videos from the farm, the Hoshikin koi farm.
Yeah, really nice.
Yeah,
Everything's clean about it, really.
that's quite a good word to descriptive word for it, isn't it? It is just a mega clean fish.
Yeah, and the Benny doesn't go down the gill plates on either side either, which is one of my real kind of pet hates, is when the gill plates have got Benny all the way down the side. So that, like on the left hand side or the right hand side, as we look at this picture, like the gill plate is clean and it's not inside the gill flap as well. So
You're hard
that's
to
a nice
please,
feature.
aren't you?
You what? Sorry.
You're hard to please.
I am hard to please, yeah. And another one of my pet hates is Benny and the dorsal as well. And
Oh, we've
it's
had this conversation.
yeah, I know,
If
I
it's in
know.
if it's in keeping with the pattern, don't look. You know, don't get too hung up on it.
No, for me, the Benny has to stay away from the dorsal. On a kahaku, yeah. On a shower, I'm not bothered.
All relative, mate.
It's all relative. You
Always
need a
remember that.
T-shirt with that. Chris is it's all relative. Ricky
Yeah,
is it boils my piss.
yeah. It makes my piss boil. Yeah. We were getting some banners done for the Secret Sankey event, and that was one of the designs.
Brilliant.
Yeah, but we thought
Oh dear.
maybe not everyone enjoys our sense of humour, so we thought about it. So 4:30 with Howie's. We'll stick a
Yeah,
couple of minutes on this one, Joe.
yeah. I've got a couple more after this as well.
Yeah.
We are talking tonight.
I don't know whether that's aimed at me or you, Mr. Tate. Is that appreciation, not assassination?
Yeah.
That's Alan's go-to. I don't
Well,
know
it's
whether
only
he come up with that in a video that we did, and I was like, "That's genius."
yeah. I remember that. Yeah, the first video you did on Koi Talk YouTube or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that
yeah.
one.
Just
Yeah, I
summed it
remember.
up, didn't it? You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, currently at a minute 20, guys. So I know there's a few of you involved in this. Probably wait until the last minute, but again, I'm going to call what's on the screen. It's a fine line between the alarm going off and bids coming in. So Joe's keeping a beady eye on it, and so am I. So yeah, please don't leave it right till the last second. So we've got a minute left. Currently sat with Matt at 4:30 of
Yeah.
Howie Coy. Let's get that video playing one last time, mate. Yeah, wild Benny, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
30 seconds left. So any advances on 4:30, please say now. Again, I don't think you're shipping a fish like that from
we got
Japan.
Matthew
Like
Savage
that.
445.
15 seconds left, guys. Keep an eye on those comments, Joe.
Yeah.
Janice Bean,
460 Janice Bean.
460, 10 seconds left, guys.
There we go, Janice again.
Yeah.
That's
Fair play.
Janice's third fish this stream. Well done, Janice.
Hopefully that confirms that the ones that they had the other week are were of good quality.
It
So
must do, yeah.
yeah. But yeah, great fish. Yeah, really like that fish. Skin qualities, everything about it. Yeah, just good quality fish all round.
This one I
Oh,
saw. This was the one I missed, so I'm going back to G now.
yeah, forgot about that. Yeah,
This one from the website, I can see how many people have watched the video on the website, and this one was probably the most viewed of the selection for tonight. So
yeah.
from people clicking through the picture and then watching the video, this one was the one that everybody clicked on. So that Marathon style, Chris, it's really not to be sniffed at, is it?
People love it, mate, don't they? Absolutely
Yeah.
love it. But putting that aside, where do we start with this? So this is a smaller breeder called Saito. It's actually uh, at the moment home to one of the most expensive fish on the farm. Yonsai example from Saito Sankey.
Wow.
It's a serious fish and a serious little farm, but perhaps not quite on so much on people's radar. Typically, not a fish that a breeder, sorry, that people automatically sort of jump to. Oh, thank you very much.
Nice
Excellent.
comment.
Nice to
Thanks,
hear.
Janice.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm really glad you're pleased with them.
So yeah, not a typical breeder that people sort of instantly gravitate to when they're thinking of Sankey, but super little farm, quite quirky farm. The guy's got some serious OCD issues when it comes to cleanliness. It's quite an experience going to the farm, quite higgledy-piggledy as well. And his fish are probably not famed because of the space that the farm affords to the fish. Although they've got genetic capability of getting quite big, as we've seen, they just tend to be a little bit behind for size. So, for example, the average Nisai might be sort of 40 to 45, whereas other farms might be 50 to 55 for the big Nisai, you know what I mean? So it's not that the fish can't achieve it. As we're proving, you probably recognise the fish the moment you come up. Quite a big Sankey, about probably touching 80 cm at the moment now. So yeah, but one of the characteristics that you have with this fish is this real refined sumi, and this delicately placed, this sort of very very reminiscent of like old school Sankey style, where in that delicate, spotted sort of sumi style, and you can see it coming on the fish. And for those that sort of got half an eye for Sankey, I do it quite a lot. I always do this hand movement. When the body starts to do this, you're going to have far more intricacies apparent. You've got going to have this white outline to the beni structure. You're going to get the sumi popping up along that shiroji, and that hopefully a well-formed kata sumi mark as well on the fish. So you see the tajima forming in the fins. So this is the black stripes that form in the fins. Again, I say it quite a lot. I like it when it just floats in the fin, so you can see it sort of as you're looking at the fish, the left hand pectoral fin just forming towards the edge of that fin, just isolated on its own. For me, that's a strong sign, a good indication of having strong melanin stores in the fish. There you go. Skin quality is showing off a little bit there. It was a bit of a pain this week trying to sort last week. I can't remember when I did them, mate. But the lighting was a pain in the backside. So yeah, hopefully the quality of this fish comes across here.
I'm really really liking this fish. Yeah, I think if we kind of analyze it from the nose up to the top, so like the head size in proportion, pattern, between the eyes. So I think if the pattern was any higher up the head, it wouldn't have enough going on. It's just about got the perfect amount of beni on the head for like a Maritan Sankey. But then for me, like the big thing on Sankey with the Sumi pattern is I love like stepping stones to come almost in like an S shape around the dorsal,
Mm.
and it does have that S shape. Obviously, there's that bigger patch of Sumi on that Shiroji just to the left hand side of the dorsal that's coming up. But yeah, I think there's still some to do with the sashi and the refinement of the sashi. Keyword does look like it's there or thereabouts, but yeah, what a fish that is!
Yeah,
Quite
that
technical, really.
yeah, I think again, it's a bit cliche to say it, but sort of it's a big fish pattern. I think you're only going to realise like the eventual qualities when it's got size and mass.
Do you know if Saito is it Matsunosuke bloodline? This is it. Similar?
Off the top of my head, mate, you've done me there. I don't know.
It does look similar to like Shintaro Matsunosuke style.
Bit more delicate on
Fish,
the
bit
Sumi
more
style.
delicate, and from like a lot of the Sakai Sankey or Takano, that it looks different to that. It looks like more like what you've said, an old school.
It wouldn't surprise me. I must admit, I don't know off the top of my head though, buddy. But yeah, this sort of old school style Sankey from back in the day, sort of Jinbei, Sadazo sort of style, where Sankey, the Sumi, was very delicately placed. And I think in recent times, Sumi has become a bit more prominent on Sankey.
Yeah,
So, it's almost a lot of people sort of tread that fine line between sort of Sankey and Showa sort of style Sumi to the untrained eye, if you will. So, yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, notwithstanding any of the sort of other things that you said, but just a nice feature as well. It's not the be all and end all for me, but that little bit of white ground towards the back of the fish as well, just on the tail.
mm,
It's just a nice technical feature, especially when the fish gets bigger and that area starts to gain a bit more mass. It's going to have that visual flow to the fish, which, yeah, again, it's not a be all and end all. It's just, for me, it's a nice attribute, pattern attribute. So yeah, skin wise, yeah, pretty top notch. Yeah, what's not to like about it, really? And it's quite an easy fish to read as well, isn't it? That's one thing that I
yeah,
like. I don't think it's not a very risk orientated fish. You know what I mean? It's fairly easy to read. See that first line of sashi, that's already cleaning up again on that sort of second part where that white window is. Again, perfect depth, and again on the third area, perfect depth. So yeah, all in all, yeah, very tidy fish. Looks like Tom
yeah. We got
is out on
on his own at 450.
yeah.
I'm shocked, to be honest. I think there would be.
I agree.
I've been I've been told that I sound like a pilot, so yeah, I might have
Yeah,
to.
I think that's a bit harsh on pilots, isn't it?
Honestly, the slander.
Mate, when these Leeds fans start going at it, you've got to bring them down a touch or two.
I do charge for ASMR though if people are getting yeah on my Yorkshire tones. If I get a good one.
So I'm going to stick a couple of minutes on this. Obviously, it looks like Tom's out on his own with this one. Yeah, I think you're going to end up with yeah, a really tidy Sankey, to be honest with you. My style of Sankey as well, must admit. I know, like, we sort of jested about the Maritan part, but yeah, I think the Sumi is just going to be that finishing characteristic for the fish. I think when a Sankey like this, when the Sumi's up and it's all finished, it looks a far more complete finished package with the big price tag.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, I think it's quite a savvy buy, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I was just going to say that this is an investment fish, because
Agreed.
At the money that we're talking, 450. If
Not
that
pocket
suit,
change, of course, but yeah.
no, but yeah, if the Benny and Sumi would refine as what we
Mm,
guess it would, then you could be talking about 3-4 times that at
mm.
retail.
45 seconds left, guys. So yeah, Tom, been out on your own for a while now. So 30 seconds left. Please don't leave it to the last minute, guys. But just keep in mind that we are going to call what's on the screen. So it may be that you've entered a figure, but we don't register it. So we've got 20 seconds left. Looks like Tom's going to get an ace fish here. Fish
Yes.
that, yeah, both of us appreciate. So yeah, 10 seconds to go. Currently sat at 450 with Tom. 5 seconds. Oh, it's nervous, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy days.
Wow. Well done, Tom. That's one that you're gonna have to send us pictures of next year
Mm. Yeah,
once you've
agreed.
had it for a while.
Yeah, super fish.
Fantastic,
Mm.
fantastic buy that. Wow, I am shocked. I'm shocked at the price of that one.
Hey, at the end of the day, it's getting good fish. Good fish, attainable fish is yeah what it's all about. So yeah.
These
Oh,
comments,
someone's
honestly,
had a big. Yeah, you are getting unbelievable.
I'm getting all the slander today. No, definitely not. Maybe the under 21s in the Mickey Mouse Cup or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh wait, no, that's no, Plymouth have been promoted, haven't they? To be fair.
yeah, mate, you're like a sinking ship now, mate. And
Oh dear.
Luton are going to pass you on the way down, mate.
Oh God, what a sad turn of events.
Come on, you Hatters. Little old Luton in the Premiership, that would be amazing. Walking through someone's
Oh dear.
garden to get to the away end. Classic. Uh, yeah, I thought we were growing this fish, to be honest with you.
I was gonna say, did you have to arm wrestle Ricky for this one or something?
No, not really. I just was like, "Oh, that's bloody nice," and then yeah,
Next thing it's listed on website.
next thing, yeah, I had it in the bowl. Yeah, so yeah, I'm not one to not get if there's no barriers up, mate, then I just go for it. So yeah,
Fair
sometimes
enough.
you get the odd slap for that, but yeah, live and learn. So yeah, Showa Denichi comes with original pictured certificate, which is always a nice touch. This probably breaks. I always talk to people about like not sort of chasing that Kahaku style pattern, but that's not to say that it doesn't work as well. It's more to let people know that it's not the prerequisite for looking at Showa. But that's also not to say that when you do find that textbook sort of Kahaku S pattern, that it can actually, the fish can absolutely nail it. So Sumi is a little bit suppressed at the moment, and that's the one area that we're looking for to finish this fish. So yeah, in terms of Sumi production, don't really have any concerns. You see Motoguru sat in both pecs, dark pigment around the eyes. You see Sumi forming in the tail, at the base of the tail, and the areas that are formed. So you see that spot right at the back, thick, inky style Sumi. So it's got it all to do in front of it. I think a fish that like this that's more finished, it's not getting close to any of these auctions. So obviously this is Denichi fish. Yeah, they do come with their price tag. So yeah, a fish for the future, if you will. So yeah, we're looking for 500 quid to get this one started, guys. Let me play the video again. So if anyone's involved, please let us know. Love the shape on the head as well.
Yeah, it's a nice like curved, rounded
Yeah,
head, isn't it? But
yeah,
with length to it.
And I think what you will find with this fish is you'll end up getting this sort of textbook um, memoir on the head. So this is where that sumi, see where that sumi is forming from the back of the gill and
Mm,
sort of arching. What you can't see in so much detail is actually forming from the white side of the gill as well. And then it's also forming on the nose of the fish. So what typically happens is that will start to meander as the
yeah,
sumi starts to form in the skin. And obviously from a nice visual perspective, we hope that it's going to connect in the future. And obviously, you can at that point, it's got that massive sort of transition process. So, yeah, again, sumi points throughout the fish. I think it's going to be a fairly stripped back style uh, shower. A lot of people prefer the heavier, blocky sort of sumi shower, but yeah, it's nonetheless, I think the finished picture that I've got in my head of this fish is yeah, quite radical compared to what it looks like right now.
hmm no, I think yeah, the first thing I did when I um, saw that you'd uploaded this fish was look on the video, and I was looking mainly at the base of the dorsal, like the skin around the bottom of the dorsal,
Mm,
and the motoguru and the pecs is really deep, the sumi, and to me that's just obviously when you've only got little signs of sumi quality. I'm looking at the bits where it's up and the indicators that it's going to have strong sumi. And I think, yeah, you've got that bit of sumi on the head, but is that enough to go off? I wasn't sure. But when you see the Motoguru and that deep sumi along the base of the dorsal, like that just, solidified any worries that, well, it calmed any worries that I had about the sumi development on this. And I think if the sumi does come up where it looks likely to do, I think you've got a really stunning. I almost think it will look a bit like a Kindai shower. When
yeah,
this,
it is Kindai, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I think it will look Kindai. Maybe people might have an image of it being quite sumi heavy when it does come up, but I
Oh,
think
I don't know if it's a wind up, Joe.
let me
Has the
have a
game even
check.
started? Can we get
Yeah,
a
one nil Luton. Yeah.
come on, the boys? I thought that was some sort of sick joke there.
Ah, dear.
Sorry,
Honestly,
sorry, bit unprofessional, but yeah.
come on, Sunderland.
Ah, boo. The Kenny is going to be rocking, Joe.
Oh dear.
Uh, back to the fish. Yeah, I like the fact that you see the sumi forming on that white on the pectoral fin. It's going to be quite pivotal. That is. It probably can't see it on the picture, but just by where the pectoral fin is on the the left hand side as you're looking at the fish now, you've got that ball of sumi forming. So again, as the fish starts to do this, as it gets bigger, that sumi is going to be more apparent. And then also what you're going to get is this sumi forming. See, just before the second dan, there's a dark sort of area of pigment on the sashi almost. So just crucial little pivotal areas where the sumi is going to form on the white skin. Um, yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's
really, really
a
interesting project. This.
bit of a rocket fish. So yeah, someone said you need one of those. That would actually be quite a good idea, Joe.
Yeah, I think it'd be really good.
Uh,
Let me have a think about how we do that.
yeah, because I don't.
It's not even just something to point on the, with our mouse on the screen so we
Well,
can
I am
indicate.
pointing, but then I realise that no one can see it.
Yeah, I think something we can look at doing. I always do that. I've got so many photos of it on my PC where I've screenshotted it and then got the Sharpie out and gone, oh well, if this bit develops here and drawing over the picture, yeah, I've done that before, so it'd be interesting to try and chuck it up on stream for people to see.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I think it's yeah one to stick in the suggestion box, mate.
Mm,
So I mean, yeah, it happens sometimes. I'm not too disheartened with this one because I'm just gonna stick some weight on it. But yeah, I'll give this one. Uh, Anyone interested, then please let us know. If not, we'll probably look to wrap this up and get straight to the pub, mate.
yeah,
Yeah.
and not pub for me. Not unless we Big Sam pulls off a miracle for Leeds United.
I played the video one last time. I think we've done the appreciation pretty good justice on this fish, to
Yeah,
be fair, mate. But you know, it happens. It's still, you know, it's not a cheap fish, although the quality is very good. So yeah, we always know it's a bit of a risk sticking these types of pieces in, and not everyone shares our vision as well. That's the other thing with koi. It's a very subjective side of things. So yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, okay, not sold this one, but yeah, no problem. Enjoyed talking about it. Enjoyed looking at it.
Maybe we'll chuck it up when it's developed a bit on on a auction in a few months. Never know.
Yeah, not a 500 quid, mate.
Exactly.
Uh, right, okay, no problem. Thanks everyone for this evening. Some nice viewing figures as well. So yeah, thanks very much, Joe.
Yeah,
Pleasure as always, mate.
yeah. Best of luck to Luton.
Oh,
Said it with
come
my
on.
fingers crossed, so that was a lie.
Yeah.
Come on, Sunderland.
I need this, Joe. I need this.
All right.
All my
Well,
mates are there tonight as well. They're all season tickets holders. So yeah, it's yeah. I need it. I need it for them as well. So yeah.
fair enough. Good luck to Luton.
Yeah.
It would actually be cool for Luton to be in the Premier League, but when we've got Bournemouth, we don't need Luton, do we?
Who?
Oh dear. Anyway,
Yeah.
me and Ricky are back on Koi Talk Live tomorrow, so tune in for that, and you'll have a chance to ask Ricky some questions later on in the evening tomorrow.
Cool.
But thanks everyone for joining us tonight.
Yeah.
Have a good evening, Chris.
Will do, mate. See you later, guys. Take
Good
care.
evening. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye.